The story begins with a memory from Nora's childhood. She remembers her father, Tobias, telling her an old story about trolls. He explained that trolls were made from the earth and stone, and they came from deep inside the mountains. For a very long time, he said, humans and trolls lived together with respect for each other. But this peace was broken when a new way of life started to spread across Europe. In Norway, a young king, who would later be called Saint Olaf, was given a mission to make the whole country Christian. In this new religion, there was no room for old creatures like trolls. The trolls were forced out of their safe, dark forests and into the bright sunlight, which turned them into solid stone. King Olaf, carrying a sword and a Bible, began his mission to clear the land. As he killed more and more trolls, they grew tired of fighting. The age of trolls came to an end. Olaf showed no mercy and killed all of them, adults and children. The story is interrupted when Nora's mother comes into the room. She says it's time to stop for the day. Nora asks her father why Street Olaf was so cruel, saying the trolls were there first. She can't understand why no one helped them and says that she would have. At that moment, Nora's mother starts coughing very badly. Her husband, Tobias, asks if she is okay. She says she is, but she is secretly sick with cancer. She sweetly promises her daughter that one day, she will take her to see the troll wall. A little later, she sings a song to help Nora fall asleep. Now, we jump forward to the present day. An adult Nora is living by herself in her father's old cabin. The cabin is messy, filled with books, newspaper clippings, and old research. A man walks in without knocking and starts looking at her things. Nora thinks he is a burglar and attacks him, but she quickly realizes it's her friend, Andreas. He is surprised to see her reading books about how to talk with trees and animals. She takes the books back and explains she didn't mean to be mean. She says she is happy to see him and asks why he is there. Then, Andreas sees another book Nora is reading, this one about the path to St. Olaf's tomb. He carefully asks if she would be willing to help them with something new. Nora says she thought she was done with that part of her life. Andreas says he felt the same way, but he was pulled back into it. He explains that things have changed with a new government, but Nora doesn't seem to care. To her, all leaders are the same. Andreas looks around and sees many newspaper clippings on the wall. They show that the government has stopped Nora from visiting different places because of her research. It shows how much trouble she has become for people in power. Andreas tries to convince her by saying that her father would have wanted her to see what he is about to show her. When Nora asks if they found something else, Andreas's smile tells her everything she needs to know. They take a helicopter to the Vemork power plant. There, they meet Professor Mallerand Wangel. They say sorry to Nora for how things ended the last time they met. They explain that the old government did not have the right permission to share secrets about a project called Jotun. They reveal that the official story about the power plant from World War II, about heroes stopping Hitler from getting an atomic bomb, was just a cover story. The real mission was something completely different. Nora is very confused until they show her what they found, a giant, sleeping Megatrol. The area is filled with labs where many scientists are studying it. Nora, amazed, moves closer to look at the creature. Andreas tells her that the people who found it 100 years ago named it Jotun, but he just calls it a Megatrol. Professor Wangel explains their safety rules, which include powerful UV lights that can turn the creature to stone. He admits they got the idea from something smart Nora did in Oslo. Just then, Professor Marion Radani, the head of the project, shows up. Speaking in a different language, she tells Andreas she is upset that he brought Nora. He replies in the same language that if they don't get results soon, the whole project will be shut down. Nora tries to say something and Marion, now speaking to her, says Andreas told her about what she did in Oslo. But Marion adds that she wishes it ended differently, because a living, awake troll would have given them so much information. That's when Nora understands the troll is not dead, just sleeping. The only sign of life it has shown is a weak pulse. Its insides are more like a forest floor than an animal's body, and its DNA is more like a pine tree than a human. Nora reminds them that trolls are a part of nature, remembering her father's words, made of earth and rock with bones of ice and a snowy heart. Later, Andreas takes Nora to a higher level of the building, where they find Siggy, Andreas's pregnant partner. He shows Nora old texts in different languages that all talk about trolls. Finally, he shows her St. Olaf's troll law from the year 1030 AD, written just before he died. The paper is ripped, but its meaning is clear. It says that the trolls of the land must be driven out. Nora now sees that her father was right all along. Professor Wangel adds that a troll was recently seen in the mountains. Since they have one here, it is very likely there are more. Professor Mahler says that if another troll appears, they must be ready. But first, they need to understand it. They have a lot of money and tools, but their research is stuck. They need someone like Nora who thinks differently. Feeling like it's all too much, Nora says she needs to use the bathroom. Instead, she sneaks into a restricted area and gets to the room where the troll is. She goes up in an elevator and stands right in front of the creature. She gently touches its face and begins to sing the same song her mother sang to her when she was a child. At that moment, a security guard sees strange activity on his monitors. Nora thinks her song didn't work because the troll is still not moving, so she turns to leave. But as she does, the creature wakes up. On the screens, its heart rate and other signs shoot up. The professors rush in, realizing the troll is now fully awake. Professor Mahler tells the guard to get the UV lights ready. As the guard is about to turn them on, Professor Marion firmly stops him, saying they cannot destroy it now. She then purposely spills coffee on the control panel, breaking the system. Andreas shouts for Nora to run as the troll starts to break its chains. The creature frees itself, but Nora is still trapped. The troll smashes into her elevator, sending it crashing to the floor. Everyone runs in panic. Andreas manages to pull Nora out of the broken elevator just in time. Nearby, another professor secretly puts a small piece of rock from the creature in his pocket. The troll then walks forward, crushing Professor Wangle under its foot. After everyone gets out, the angry troll smashes its way out of the building and disappears into the forest. Nora, Andreas, Marion, and Siggy meet up at an airbase. They are met by Captain Kris. Inside a meeting room, Marion tries to convince Nora to help them by talking about all the amazing things they could learn, like new medicines. Nora answers back that they treated the troll like a worthless lab rat. She says the problem is that they only think about what is good for humans. She argues that trolls have thoughts and feelings. Just then, the Prime Minister arrives. He says that he always thought this project was too risky, and what happened today proved him right. Marion argues that this is still a huge opportunity, but Nora insists that you can't control a creature like that. The Prime Minister says his only job is to keep the people of Norway safe, so he will do what should have been done a long time ago. He orders the army to kill the troll. Nora argues with him, saying he is making the same mistakes as Street Olaf. The Prime Minister gets very upset and reveals that his brother died in a helicopter crash during a past mission involving a different troll. He says he will not repeat the mistakes of the leader before him. Nora sits down, feeling defeated, holding a piece of rock from a troll that was turned to stone years ago. Andreas sits next to her, pulls out his own piece of the same rock, and says that they all must learn from their mistakes. In the operations room, Kris tells his team that they have found the troll. Nora asks Kris to let her come on the mission, but he says no right away. He reminds her she is not a scientist for them anymore. She is a regular person, and it would be wrong to bring her on such a dangerous mission. Nora follows him, begging for a chance to go. She says she owes it to her father. Kris sharply tells her that bringing her on the last mission was a terrible mistake that got people killed, a weight that he now has to carry. He refuses to make that mistake again. Nora, calm but firm, replies that her father died happier than he had ever been because his work gave his life a purpose. After she keeps asking, Kris finally gives in. He shows her a new helicopter with a full UV light system. Soon, Andreas joins them, also wanting to go. Then Marion shows up and asks if they have room for one more. Kris is impressed and agrees. Siggy says goodbye to Andreas, making him promise to come back safely. The team gets on the helicopter. Meanwhile, at a ski resort in the mountains, young people are having a party. Suddenly, the ground shakes. The Megatrol smashes through the roof of the building. In their shock, many people start taking photos instead of running away. The troll becomes angry. It grabs several people with its giant hand and begins to eat them. At that moment, the two helicopters arrive. Nora watches in horror as the creature eats people, realizing this troll is very different from the last one. The soldiers turn on the UV lights, which hurt the creature. Nora warns Kris not to get too close, but he ignores her. The troll tears a pole from the ground and throws it at the other helicopter. The helicopter crashes, and the pilot, Amir, is killed. Kris is heartbroken. Nora begs him not to do anything reckless, but Kris positions his helicopter in front of the Megatrol, ready to keep fighting. However, the UV light system was damaged, so they can't attack anymore. The troll, no longer in danger, turns and walks away. The Prime Minister is told about the failed mission. At the crash site, Kris, Nora, Andreas, and Marion look at the damage. A shaken Marion says that she never knew trolls could be such killing machines. Nora says they've never seen one act like this. The troll from 3 years ago was different. Marion argues that reports say that troll also hurt people. Nora says the reports were wrong about what it was trying to do. It was only trying to get home. Marion tells her to stop treating them like humans, but Nora replies that humans are the ones who made them into monsters. Andreas wonders if they could talk to it. After a moment, Nora says she might know someone who can. Nora leads the team to the Dover Mountains, into the same cave where the first troll appeared. She guides them to a hidden area. Back in the cave, the group reaches an old hunting pit. Nora explains that legend says this was a trap made to catch the Troll King. A baby troll was used as bait to get its father. Christian symbols are carved everywhere to hurt it. However, the king survived and escaped 3 years ago. The baby troll's body was never found. Nora uses a tapping pattern from her father's stories, and a troll comes out from the shadows. She calmly tells Kris to lower his weapon. Nora walks up to the troll, showing it the stone piece from the other one. She explains that this troll is the Mountain King's son. Nora calls him beautiful and sings the song her mother used to sing, which calms the creature down. Even Marion starts to cry. A shocked Andreas asks how she can do this. Nora explains it's a feeling from her heart. She encourages him to go to beautiful and touch him. Andreas does, and he begins to sing too, which makes the troll smile. Andreas then asks the young troll for a big favor. Sometime later, on the frozen mountains, the Megatrol gets closer as Nora fires a flare to get its attention. The Megatrol charges at Nora, but suddenly, the baby troll, beautiful, bursts up from under the ice. They roar at each other, and the Megatrol stomps so hard that it shatters the ice. Everyone runs for the helicopter. In the chaos, Nora falls into a crack in the ice as Beautiful sinks into the freezing water. Feeling terrible, she is quickly pulled up by Kris, and they get to the helicopter just as the Megatrol chases them. From the air, Nora watches the spot where Beautiful went down and starts to cry. Back at the base, they look at a map and see the troll is following the old path to the city of Trondheim. Nora realizes the troll isn't just wandering. It's following a path connected to St. Olaf, and it wants revenge. The team goes to Trondheim and the Nidaros Cathedral, where they meet Esther, a historian who wrote the book Nora was reading. Esther leads them through underground tunnels to find St. Olaf's lost tomb. They find a hidden circular door. Inside, they find Olaf's body. Nora finds a piece of paper in Olaf's clothes. It is the missing half of the troll law. They put the two pieces of the document together. The full text shows that Olaf never wanted to kill the trolls. His plan was to give them a safe territory, but the church leaders disagreed and had him killed. The troll heading for the city isn't looking for Olaf's tomb. It's looking for revenge against the country that betrayed it. News of the troll attack spreads. The prime minister announces that Trondheim is lost. He promises to get everyone out of the city. The general orders Kris to pull his team back, but Kris and Nora refuse to leave. Nora realizes how to fight the troll. Holy water combined with sunlight. When asked where they can find enough holy water, Esther says they can use St. Olaf's own fountain. They gather the remaining people in the town and explain their risky plan. They fill up trucks and weapons with holy water from the cathedral. As they prepare, Andreas tells Nora that he has faith that her mother is watching over her, and he has faith in Nora. As night comes, everyone is in position for the final battle. They ring the church bells as a distraction. The troll is hurt but fights back by throwing a tree at the bell tower, which collapses. Kris orders them to set off explosives filled with holy water. The plan seems to work at first, but the effect is too weak. The troll keeps coming. Suddenly, Beautiful, the baby troll, appears and attacks the Megatrol. He survived, but he is quickly overpowered. Marion suggests a new plan, attack from the inside. If they can get holy water into its body, they could destroy it. Andreas suggests using the helicopter to drop their last bomb into the troll's mouth. But there is a problem. The bomb's detonator is broken. The only way to set it off is by hand with a grenade. Someone has to jump with the bomb. Realizing he is the only one who can do it, Andreas calls Siggy one last time. He emotionally tells her, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, before hanging up. As the Megatrol roars, the helicopter flies above it. Bravely, Andreas leaps with the bomb toward the creature's open mouth. Nora watches in horror. A few moments later, the troll's insides explode, and its body falls to the ground, finally defeated. Sometime later, the damaged church is being fixed. At Nora's cabin, everything is peaceful. Siggy is there with her baby girl. Kris plays with the baby while Marion looks on warmly. Nora sits reading a book written by Andreas. Outside, Beautiful lets out a gentle sound, no longer scared and now exploring the world. In a scene after the credits, the professor who took the rock piece calls a military general. He reports that the rock he took from the lab is developing into something and asks for more time. The camera shows a small troll in a glass container, and that's where the movie ends. Total cliffhanger. Hope you guys liked it. If you did, drop a like and a comment. Also, please subscribe. Let's hit 1,000 subscribers. I'm sure you're curious about what happens next. Now we just hope Netflix gives us a third installment of the Troll series.